And PiLiPiLi's opponent in the top left side in the red, repping America and Alpha X, he is Vindicta. And Grant, oh Grant.
Oh, Creighton.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Double gas. One barrack. Proxied out. Grant, tell the people back home what they can expect. Grant?
I'm just messing with you. Sorry, I don't know what I did there.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, so certainly a proxy Reaper on the way here, followed up most likely by the factory being proxied as well. No? Okay, just one proxy Reaper for now then. And the factory will be going down at home. So it is basically just a double gas standard opening here with the one barracks proxied. Now he may go for a bunker behind the natural mineral line here. Not going to be the case as PiLiPiLi is going to follow and just go and check what is going on. But this Reaper is going to hit obscenely early before the first unit is even begun to be produced. And even seeing the SCV stick around this long and be this aggressive is a sign that maybe something is a little bit fishy here. And now here comes Mr. Reaper. The factory has been put down at home in the wall, and the barracks most likely after the second Reaper will come home. Good control so far here from PiLiPiLi. One misfire from Vindicta so far onto that gas geyser. Will at least be able to get... Ooh, okay, gets one. Nice surround. Gets the second. Okay, now this is starting to look all right here for our Terran player. Needs to probably get at least one more. Stalker coming out now. Second Reaper is about to pop. He gets his first one, and he will. That's okay here for PiLiPiLi. No problems.
Yeah, PiLiPiLi obviously waiting to get that Stalker out. Went for Gateway into Cyber Core and then into a unit there, but this last Reaper will make it into this little bunker that's been going down behind the natural. So Vindicta's still going to go for that little Kellisher bunker, but it's in a very odd place. I'm used to see this bunker down here, so it's got a little bit easier access to the mineral line. Obviously, the goal of this bunker is to stop the mineral line from mining at all. But with it up in the top corner here, we are able to see some of these probes sneaking in some minerals, and it's not going to slow down PiLiPiLi as much as possible. In addition, that SCV was sniped right away, which means that Vindicta can't do those sneaky little micro tricks to pop the SCV in and out of the bunker to get the repairs off. He's going to be forced to evacuate. I was going to say salvage, but it looks like the salvage not going to quite make it, I believe. Oh, wow, the Stalker's disengaging there. I think PiLiPiLi missing a trick there. Could have absolutely sniped that bunker.
Another Reaper going into the main, actually buying him time and saving him 75 minerals, which is interesting, knowing which one to give up. Now, does he get one more? No. Okay, so in total, we see 4 workers have gone down for 1. There was some delayed mining on the natural, but it is pretty minuscule. We're seeing more and more committal here to aggression from Vindicta. He has got a few Hellions out. Did he just make 2? Okay, yes, it's not too bad. And is now swapping over those add-ons to get the factory going. Tech Lab on the factory as well. Looking like we are... I mean, the standard here would be Raven, but at this pace of the game, I would not be surprised. And also, we're in NA. To see a Banshee and to see Cloak. Yup, I knew it. You're naughty North American Terran players.
Absolutely correct, Grant. Great game knowledge there. A good read on what Vindicta is up to. Tank out first, obviously a little bit concerned about the possibility of a counterattack, and I think that's very smart from Vindicta. He's got the bunker down, but with a tank, you really can control that zoning. When you take out that many probes, 4 probes going down, it's very possible that the Protoss player is going to jump on this as an opportunity to push across, and especially since the Reaper hit so early, you know then that the barrack is only just now going to be going back home. Really, really nice stuff there from Vindicta. A good read that, hey, damage is possible, if not probable. The bad news for Vindicta is the damage is not coming right away, Grant. The damage is coming at about the 6-minute mark. There have just been 6 gateways added on to PiLiPiLi's build here for a total of, count them, 8.
I can't count.
Okay. I think it's 8.
I never learned how.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 gateways, Grant. I was so confident that 8. You know, Grant, that's one of the hardest things, and people don't appreciate this, because a gateway that's turning into a warp gate doesn't appear in any of the production tab or the structures tab. So as these warp gates are coming in, you're like trying to count. You're like, okay, there's only 3, but there's 4. Wait, now there's 7. It's hard to put them all together. And also, I'm really dumb, so it makes it tough. Warp Prism coming out, though, and PiLiPiLi's going practically all in. Is it fair to say, Grant, on these 7 gates?
It's very, very, very aggro, certainly. I don't like to say all in, because if he goes and kills 30 workers right now and then is pushed back, I mean, he can expand out of it and keep going. Now, in terms of Vindicta's defense, we know he's gone Cloak Banshees. They are hitting right now in the main. They're going to be pushed away. Did he complete Cloak? Yes, okay. So Cloak has completed, and those Banshees, whilst being frustrating, don't seem to be doing quite as much as they needed to do. We see this push from PiLiPiLi. It's going to hit hard. How many tanks are there currently?
2.
It's not enough,
3.
I don't think. Okay, 3 is a better number than 2. See, I can count at least a little. And there's a bunker in the main. Yes.
I only see 2 tanks. Oh, there it is. Sorry, they're both hidden. There we go. Okay. So 2 in the natural, 1 in the main. This is a nice split here. No SCV pull to repair that tank very late here. SCV's pulled off to repair the bunker. The bunker is going to be saved here.
This is good.
Oh, it's
this
so
is
close.
So good.
What a good save. This is absolutely defense that Vindicta needed. Meanwhile, back home, the Banshee pushed away again, but with 2 kills on that Banshee already, being very valuable. Would love to see a Viking out at some point, but instead we're going to swap over onto the reactor. I imagine that'll be for 2 Vikings, maybe a Liberator. Either way, this Warp Prism needs to be cleared. So far, this is decent damage from PiLiPiLi, who's taken down a bunker, who's taken down a tank, and Vindicta only on 28 army supply.
Yeah, Vindicta not able to mine from his natural right now. That is a problem. He's going to try and give it a go, try and get things going. He has a Raven building up energy. He's going to try and mule as well. You can see he's having to box his workers over to that farm mineral patch to keep them alive because his tanks have been taken down. He now only has 2 tanks and one of them is out of position. Now moving down to the natural. This turret even being dropped is a problem because that Raven now is not able to do anything. That is lost army supply and he's already down 53 to 38. The blink forward. There's a lot of bio here that's going to do an okay job and the tank getting a couple of big volleys off. But it does still look very scary right now for Vindicta. PiLi is the sort of underdog story of this tournament for North America. And right now, he's doing some great work on making things happen, killing 5 workers there. His army supply is still growing. He's producing 5 adepts. I bloody love it. Because now he can shade in and either choose to commit here or go up into the main if there is a mistake made. No, I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go. He is going to go. Stalkers now after the tank fire is split. The Raven goes down, units going down, SCV's border for line. Can he do it? Creighton.
No, huge mistakes here from Vindicta. The tanks allowing themselves to get blunked on here. A couple Marines trying to save the day. It's not going to be enough. I don't know if you noticed, Grant, earlier, Vindicta was firing on his own supply depot up on the high ground there with 15 SCVs out. That's a really nice counter damage from PiLiPiLi here. And Vindicta is going to drop game number 1 in a really tight series. Quite a back and forth game there, Grant. Now, Grant, earlier in the game, we were saying that Vindicta looked like he was in a decent position, right? That Reaper getting a bit of damage done, trying to read what PiLiPiLi was up to, and even prepping for some aggression, right? He had the bunker in the natural, had the bunker in the main, went to tank production right away. What did Vindicta do wrong there? What did he fail to see that allowed PiLiPiLi to just overrun him pretty easily there at the end of the game?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't establish that all those gateways had gone down, and also the going for Cloak Banshees, it didn't work. He had a couple of medevacs out instead, or even if the Banshee was at home, he had 2 Banshees at home, it would have done a little more. I'm not sure if that would have done it even still, because there were so many Stalkers. But yeah, Cloak Banshee didn't work. He needed either medevacs or liberators. He needed some sort of, even just a few more tanks somehow if he knew what was coming. He did get the the bunkers down in the main, and that was nice. But the bunker in the front after 1 defense was them just blunked on again and did go down. And it didn't work out for Vindicta in his defense. PiLiPiLi was very aggressive. He was, you know, he threw all of his cake at the wall and tried to make it stick. That's not a saying, but I've just made it up and I quite like it. I'm kind of sticking with it, man. I'm sticking with it. He threw his cake at the wall to see how much of it would stick, and it did all stick in the end. What the fuck?
Grant, the phrase coiner hill. That's right. You're making stuff up and it's going to become part of the vernacular in 30, 50 years. It'll seep into the culture, Grant. Don't worry. And someday some child will look up at his mom and say, Mummy, why do British people say throw cake at the wall? And I'll be like, well, little child. What's a good British name? Reginald? Well, Reginald, a long time ago, there was an
Why does his mummy speak like a 1920s gentleman?
I've dated a lot of British women, Grant. I don't
you're not wrong, actually. All right,
I'm definitely not wrong. Let's hop into game number 2 before the entire nation of Britain decides to declare war on just me as a sovereign nation. And we'll introduce our first 2 players. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of Juggernaut LE, it's our red Terran player from the US of A and from the Alpha of X. It is Vindicta.
And his opponent, he's up 1-0 in the series, representing Genesis Gaming. He is the blue Protoss player from North America, and Kazakhstan, it's PiLiPiLi. Now, I will say, and I said this a little bit in the last series, In EU, we've had Denver. He is our standout. Holy crap, how is he doing so well? In NA so far, of course, we're not quite as far in. PiLiPiLi is that player for me so far. He has been really performing very well, whereas previously, when I've cast him, I've kind of... I don't want to say I've wrote him off, but he's not performed to the level I've seen so far in North America. Is that fair to say, Creighton?
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair to say. He's doing a phenomenal job in this tournament, and people might be a little confused. They're like, wait a minute, PiLiPiLi's at 2-2 in this tournament. Like, he's even on wins and losses. What do you mean he's doing better than you expected, or he's been overlooked in the past? But guys, 2-2 in North America with the difficulty of some of these groups really is a phenomenal place to be, and I'm a little surprised, as Grant is, to see PiLiPiLi doing such a strong job here in NA. We didn't talk much about this before the game, Grant, but the records of these players are really fascinating. Last game, it was a 3-1 player against a 1-3 player. So very clearly, like, one player needed to win, one player needed to not lose. And this game, though, 2-2 for PiLiPiLi, 1-3 for Vindicta. So PiLiPiLi desperately needs to win this one to move up, to even be in contention for those top 4 spots. And Vindicta has to win to keep his skin in the game here.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, Vindicta is looking a little bit suspicious over at like the 3 o'clock mark, and there it goes. We do see that starport going down here. Hellions will be on the way, and it's up to PiLiPiLi to identify what is going on, like, sooner rather than later, because Jagannatha, a bloody great map for this.
Yeah.
The main is huge, right?
Oh, the main is enormous for both these players. We zoom all the way out here. You can see there's a big, even with this pylon out here, he's got the Twilight Council, Gateway, and Cybercore all clustered around the bottom of the map. Normally, that would be enough to see the entire main for a Protoss player. There's still this dark space in the bottom corner where easily a medevac could drop 4 Hellions down if that's what Vindicta's going for. He's waiting a little bit, but there it is. Medevac goes down. I remember a couple days ago, Grant, you and I saw this exact build, and both of us were like, it's going to be a medevac with Hellion drops, and he went for Liberator instead, which is a little weird, but this is a much more common follow-up. Medevac, a couple Hellion drops, and even a bunker on the low ground to protect Vindicta here. Vindicta playing it safe and not going to be too crazy here. I hope these Hellion drops get some damage done, though. We haven't seen some probes get roasted by Hellions in a long time.
Yeah,
we're overdue.
It is certainly... I mean, with this build as well, that starport is very far away from the main, being proxy. It really needs to work because there is going to be no follow-up starport tech for a while. This starport now has to, you know, get up and fly the long way home, and it is a long way home. Now, PiLiPiLi does have a pylon at the very south side of his base, which will allow him to see this just 1 second earlier. Boost was used to get there a little bit earlier, but of course not to get in positions right away. But these Hellions now already unloading. Probes will need to be pulled, most likely, but will they be pulled? So far, I like that he hasn't pulled. Now he pulls later. This is nice, splitting them off in separate directions. 5 kills so far, 6. If this gets up to 8 or 9, this is definitely worth it. 7, 8. Okay, yeah, no, this is okay. 8 workers, not bad. We can see the worker count right now is in favor of PiLiPiLi still, but Vindicta with mules is now going to be mining that little bit more, dropping a couple of mules right now. That is going to rocket ahead to closer to 2,000 minerals per minute. Yeah, I think this is okay. It's not great damage though, Creighton.
Yeah, you know, usually what you want to do with Hellions, the general rule of thumb, and I'm not saying you can always say this, and Creighton said that this is the math you have to do, and he's a dumb caster because he doesn't know. Generally speaking, you want to get about twice as many probes as you lose Hellions, give or take. That means that your resources lost are even, and that you've crippled their economy, whereas it's just your early game army units that have been taken out of the game. Usually that's a decent trade for Terran players, and that's exactly what Vindicta got. If you look at the units lost tab, you'll see it's 8 probes, 4 Hellions, exactly the same amount of resources lost. The problem is that since this was proxied, it actually slows Vindicta's tech down just a little bit. That starport only just now getting home, only just now adding a tech lab on. And again, Grant, normally we would see a Raven out. I think is a pretty common follow-up here to drive down this this observer on the other side of the map and make sure it does go down. But we saw the Raven started for a moment there, and the barracks coming across. He's not going to go Raven, instead going to go for a quicker tech. We're going to see Stim out very quickly, and a third Rax about to finish up here. Going to be Bio out of Vindicta. What do you think about his choice not to go for a Raven, Grant?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think he must have got a bit of information. Did he drop a scan or something? Looking at things, he has seen quite a lot of the naturals, so possibly dropped a scan or something there to get that information that there is a lot of gateways out once again. And the Raven right now not too useful. He wants to get Medivacs out a bit quicker. More importantly, he wants to get that tech lab so he can start producing more bio upgrades of things. This tank has been blown upon. It is going to get saved. Very important save there from Vindicta. If that went down, then we would have been in a world of pain. We'd have been looking at quite possibly a repeat of game 1. Second tank now coming out of the bunker standing strong. The good thing about Jagannatha is it is quite difficult to get into the main without coming in through the natural. So I don't expect Vindicta to die here. There's only that one angle. It's very far away.
Yeah.
I don't expect Vindicta to die here, but I like what PiLiPiLi's doing because behind this he's getting a third and he's transitioning into solid Protoss tech.
Yeah, I don't want to, criticize these players and like try to guess too much about what they're doing based on very tiny cues. But I will say that was a weak ass blink into the natural there for PiLiPiLi. He blinked like halfway onto the tank, was kind of caught in the Sim City a little bit, ate some tank fire, was trying to get these refineries down, only sniped one of them. And I'm not sure if that's indicative really that PiLiPiLi's like, I'm going to put some pressure on, but I'm not going to try and go for the throat here. Because really what you want to do with these stalkers, because he is showing these stalkers every now and then, these supply depots. And what he's trying to do is say, hey, Vindicta, stay at home, build more tanks, maybe drop another bunker, be afraid that I'm just going to all in you again like last game, when realistically, he's going to go back home, he's going to get this third base up, and the third base has not been spotted by Vindicta. So I'm a little surprised to see PiLiPiLi not being a little bit more aggressive with that first aggression there. And I do feel like he telegraphed a little bit with a half-hearted blink onto the tank. He's like, I'm not really going to kill you here. But again, I may be guessing a little bit too far into what these players are thinking about.
Yeah.
The observer for PiLiPiLi, though, in a beautiful spot. He knows he can't really get up into the main base. Should get sniped here. It should be seen. Oh my God, it's going to get away. Wow. But behind this, as we said, PiLiPiLi on 3 bases. Vindicta's third base just getting finished in the main. Needs to move across as well. Lots of stuff going down here in this game, and Vindicta a little bit behind.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say PiLiPiLi's done a great job of keeping his opponent back right now, just with a small group of units. Vindicta, though, he hasn't sent out a drop. He's not done anything to try and pull himself into a great position here. It looks like one drop is now heading off. That's a Liberator. Okay. Yeah, I like that even. Yeah. Because this third base is all the way done and it's very healthy already for PiLiPiLi, who's up in workers. Now it gets scanned as well, as does part of the army. But this is even a lot of scans that have had to go down here from Vindicta. He scanned like 3 or 4 times in this game already, and for no real gain. This Liberator going to be seen. It's going to just hang out with this pylon, tell war stories. Nothing particularly interesting going on there. Ghost Academy on the way from Vindicta, and I love it because he's going to need it. There is no Robo Bay tech out for PiLiPiLi. He's playing very, very heavy gateway style with Immortals, and Ghosts right now are the counter, but they need to get here pretty soon.
Did you see that Reddit thread a while ago where people were discussing why Liberators don't fire on buildings? What's the canon reason that Liberators can't fire at buildings?
No, I didn't. I don't know.
It was hilarious. Oh, it was hilarious, Grant. I highly encourage you to do so. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. A couple of hallucinated zealots here getting trapped near the back. That's an interesting choice there. A lot of sentries, I guess. You got that energy. You got to use it. Yeah. But with the, hallucinated Colossus as well, forcing this third base out. And it's actually a huge win for PiLiPiLi, who, again, is in such a strong position. The Liberator not going to get too much done. 5 kills is all right, but not enough when your entire third base gets dislodged here. I'm a little bit concerned, Grant, that this push from PiLiPiLi might actually be game-ending, and he's going to go ahead and jump on in.
I don't know if he needs to go for the throw here, but he's killed a lot of workers. And now with the units being taken back in the medevacs, he's just going to back off before he throws away too many units. Now, one thing I will say is there's not a prism, right? There is a prism out. Okay, so that prism is now looking for the flank. This isn't going to be great here for Vindicta, as that prism now allowing these units to get a flank. Tanks doing a lot of DPS from further back, and Ghosts are now out. EMP coming down on the onto all of the sentries means that they will fall. But again, 10 SCVs falling for Vindicta. Behind this, lots and lots of units coming in. This base could go down. There's not enough Stalkers to take it down, but there's SCVs heading back over. Yeah, a few more workers going to fall before this is over. This is a real problem scenario for Vindicta. He's just not been able to break this loving embrace, we'll say, from PiLiPiLi.
I'm sure that's exactly how Vindicta sees this pressure. He's like, PiLiPiLi stalkers just want to give my third base a hug, don't they? The third base getting rebuilt or repaired right now by those SCVs. But again, we see PiLiPiLi rotating around, trying to find some damage. I really don't think PiLiPiLi is very smart to engage into any of this from Vindicta. Obviously, Vindicta with a high ground vision, with a huge count of ghosts, or a decent count of ghosts. He's up to 5 now. Plenty of EMPs available. Going to be very difficult for PiLiPiLi to really find an engagement. Looks like he's setting up for a big flank here. But again, Vindicta can just retreat back into the natural and still only fire at one sort of location on the map here. So I don't know how I feel about PiLiPiLi actually going for this.
Yeah, I mean, he picks up a Widowmine and blinks away. Maybe he loses a Stalker, but at this point, it's really not too problematic. One thing I will say is Pili has had the money and the capability to take a 4th for a while, and he's not done it, but I guess, I mean, when your opponent's on 2 bases, why not stay on 3? That's working out nicely for him. In terms of upgrades, you can see +2 shields on the way. I love the shield heavy upgrades because the Zealots, if they get EMP'd, still have that big bulky shield. But PiLiPiLi has such control right now. He's just lurking around. We do have an EMP going down onto some of these Zealots, but now the big flank coming in. The EMP's not bad here. There's a lot of SCVs down at the south side going down. A huge amount begin falling. Everything falling, but PiLiPiLi's army's starting to look a little thin right now. He is going to be pushed back in the end. These Immortals fall so low. They will all fall. A couple need to get into that prison, probably. Yeah, to get away. But that was maybe an overextension there for PiLiPiLi, who now has no army supply. Don't try and be fancy here, mate. Just save what you can.
Yeah, PiLiPiLi being very seely there, trying to get that attack into the natural. And just as I said, it doesn't matter how good you think you're going to do. Even with that triple flank setup, he did have units here on the south side, here in the north side, here on the west side as well. And still, the Bio army able to retreat back to this safe location in the natural. He had a little Sim City going there as well, sort of corralled all those Protoss units in and just let his Bio ball push across and do massive damage there. So a huge mistake from PiLiPiLi. Again, Grant, why is he being so aggressive right now? He's got a 3rd base where his opponent's on 2. He can grab a 4th base if he wants. He's ahead on workers. I just think that was a really, really bad miscall from PiLiPiLi.
Yeah, he did have resources to throw away, so it's not the end of the world. Vindicta did not counter. He's now trying to land a Viking even. There is a Colossus here, not in range because it doesn't have ETL. Colossus, you can see it happening. Colossus. Colossus has even just been clicked on. There we go. You can do it. Well done, boy. Wow, Colossus suck against Vikings. Holy crap. 4 Vikings going down there. But as I was saying, PiLiPiLi, he killed a lot of workers. He couldn't probably tell exactly how many. Oh, this is cute. The 1DT right now is actually causing a lot of mayhem. It's either going to force an EMP or a scan. We now have the fight coming in. The Colossus just move commanded, though. This is a big mistake. EMP coming down onto all the Protoss army. Second Colossus joins the fray. Needs to start firing its lasers pretty quickly. It looks like PiLiPiLi will hold, but he has no army at all right now.
Yeah, this is just really rough to watch here. After being in control of the game for so long, I mean, if you open, you can't see it, but the income advantage tab shows that PiLiPiLi had about a 5-minute stretch where he was 1,000 minerals per minute ahead of his opponent in the income graph there, and it's just disgusting, Grant, to see him making such a weird attack on the other side of the map that he must have known was going to go poorly. And now he's going to waste all his capital to try and shove this army away, and he's not going to have any luck. Again, the tanks are here. The Bio Ball is strong. Even though his upgrades are good, this Bio Ball is still just so good. There's no energy on that shield pattern. The last Colossus goes down. Man, Grant, I hate to say this, but I don't think Vindicta won that game. I think PiLiPiLi just threw it away. That was an ill-advised attack on the natural, and for the life of me, I still cannot figure out why he was doing that. Take a 4th. Get up to max supply. I mean, I know you said he had some minerals and resources to throw away, but usually you don't want to trade out resources in a bad fight unless you're already maxed out and your opponent is not. And I feel like PiLiPiLi could have pushed the game to that game state and really just secured his victory there, and failed to do so. I'm really disappointed with PiLiPiLi's play there.
Yeah, I'll agree
really
with
disappointed.
You. That was a 3-pointer. You might want to leave and rejoin Discord. You started to
oh, yeah, we'll do. I'll call you right back, buddy.
Yeah. As we now see everything there, we will just make sure everything is okay with Creighton. Seems to be cooling back. Nope, he's not. We will hang up. I will call him back. Apologize for this one, guys. Trying to get Creighton back, of course. And get things fixed. He seems to have died. Okay. So we will just be getting into the next game very soon. We are waiting for Creighton. He is in the lobby, so I may just start on my own. Cool. Not quite sure where he's gone. It's not me that's DC'd, is it? Nope. Okay, Creighton's just restarting his Discord, guys. I apologise for this. Oh, he's back. Oh, God, he's really laggy. Oh, maybe he's not. This is a good question, Creighton Olsen.
Well, let's see if I'm any better now.
Yeah,
hopefully we get a good chance. Sounding better? All right, rock and roll. We're going to hop into the third game, guys. PiLiPiLi and Vindicta. I don't know what Grant said about me while I was gone, but ignore anything that he said about me. Don't believe it for a second. None of it's true. We're going to hop on into game number 3 now, Grant. Tied up at 1-1, and PiLiPiLi got to be feeling really, really cranky about that last one.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it was a three-pointer, right? He threw it pretty hard there.
Free throw, I think is the word you're looking for. Or layup, maybe would be more apt.
It's a free-pointer. He threw it from really far away. Right.
Yeah,
he was super ahead, so he threw it from miles away.
Layup is a much more acceptable sports term, where it should have been an easy win, but he botched it. Three-pointer would be like something difficult to accomplish.
That's true. Well, I mean, throwing it from that distance was difficult to accomplish, right?
I don't think it holds up, Grant. I think you're going to stick with the much more common layup, free throw, if you're sticking with a basketball metaphor.
In the bottom left, representing Team Alpha X, he is the Red Terran player from North America. It's Vindicta. How do I spin my camera? There it is. That wasn't on yours, then.
And his opponent in that top right-hand side in the blue, it is our Protoss player with a win in Game 1 and a loss in Game 2. His name is PiLiPiLi. Rock and roll. Grant, looks like standard stuff for both these players. Well, as I say it, Vindicta dropping a barrack on the high ground at the very least and getting 1 gas. This SCV, though, heading across the map, going to be for a scout, going to be for something else.
Yeah, just a scout, definitely, I would say, at this point. I don't think Oxide is a great map, and if he was going to proxy, I don't know if he'd do it from this position. I think this is just a standard scout position, yeah. I think if you proxy, you do it from the 3 o'clock position here, where the main is a little bit wider, a little bit easier to get into. May try and drop a bunker here, that's what he's going to do. He's going to abuse Oxide's very wide natural to drop a bunker down here behind the natural. Going to go for this slightly strange position again. I think knowing that he has been completely unseen, he can go a little bit closer to the mineral line here, a little bit more central. I guess maybe worried about where the tech is on the high ground. Probe is going to come down here and drop the pylon, and then maybe look behind the mineral line. Nope, it is going to go down completely undetected, Creighton.
This is good for Vindicta here. And this is what he wanted to do in game number 1, is get this little Kelliger bunker down behind the natural. And what that does, obviously, slows down mining the natural for a while and gives your first Reaper a lot of coverage. The Reaper can hop into the bunker to, if it takes a shot, the Reaper can hop into the bunker to regenerate some of its health. And if the SCV is targeted, it can hop into the bunker to dodge stalker shots. So a bit of a micro challenge for Vindicta, and PiLiPiLi's going to be frustrated to see it with that pro. He's going to realize, gosh darn it, now I got to spend a bunch of time trying to clear this flippin' bunker with an SCV. Just so annoying.
The SCV comes a little bit far from home here. It does have to jump in that bunker. Losing a lot of its health early is annoying. It wants to be as healthy as it can, so there can be mistakes made. But of course, there is no battery up yet, meaning that there is going to be no mining. But again, he's not covering the furthest reaches of this patch. Now going to go in with that Reaper, drop the grenade, target a little bit here, force some energy to be used, and dive in and out here with the SCV. Cute little tricks, I love to see it. Reaper going to come out as well here, just to really draw some fire. SCV going down, bit of a mistake. Vindicta doesn't want to lose that this quickly. But I mean, at this point, why is he not targeting the probe? He's in range.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. There's a shield battery anyway, so he's going to just basically picking down the energy on that shield battery is just fine. The Reaper jumps in for one last Parthian shot there. Suicides into the main base, but does see the Twilight Council. Should expect Blink to come out. Grant, we talked a little about it last time, but you want to tell the people why in a PvT do you always see the Protoss player go and Blink if they open Twilight Council?
Yeah, it's just the safest all-around choice here. Glaives doesn't really work against Terrans just due to the way SimCity works, and Marines will always sit back and bunkers and things like that. Glaives is never going to work, and Zealot Charge doesn't work unless it has a good buffer, a good army around it. There are a couple of very, very, very niche Zealot Charge timings, but they're mainly against Zerg alongside Archons and things like that. So Blink allows you to control the map, it makes you very mobile, it allows you to shut down drops, which is the Terran's main way of being aggressive, drops or Liberators, either which are countered by Blunk. And also, if the Terran is to push across the map, you can pick off reinforcements very easy. You can pick at the back of their army and just really, like, you know, work on the Achilles as they're moving forward and be a nuisance.
Yeah, I like this little push here from Vindicta, who is going to try another Hellion drop. His first Hellion drop in the previous game was proxied out and didn't get as much damage as he had hoped. Hellion drops are so tough to deal with, Grant, for both sides. They're very chaotic. Obviously, the splash damage from the Hellion happens in a straight line, which means you are relying a little bit on luck. If the probes are just at the right, you know, there's no way to time this out. I mean, if you were Innovation or some other kind of super advanced AI StarCraft machine, you can time it out. But highly unlikely the Stalkers can, the Hellions can time out an exact shot on these probe lines. So there is a little bit of luck involved in catching up with these Hellions, seeing if they get damage done. But they are going to get up to the main base here. Spotted by the pylon right away. The Stalkers going to get in touch. Absolutely no damage going to get done here, I don't think, Grant. Maybe one or two if he's lucky.
Yeah. The Stalker's reacting very quickly there. I was concerned for just a moment because there was no battery or anything. But 3 Hellions and 2 Stalkers completely fine. Another good thing here for Vindicta is that he did save the medevac. That did not go down, if I'm correct. Yep, so that's completely fine. It's very important that he keeps that alive. It's very important that he keeps that alive. It's very important.
Okay. Well, actually, that's really smart. PiLiPiLi only showing a couple of Stalkers doesn't want Vindicta to know that all the Stalkers are here, baby dolls. Probe production has been stopped. The Observer's here. There's one tank, but Blink is finished up. It's going to take 2 blinks to get on top of this tank, but he can blink up into the dark side of the map here. The Raven does see the Observer, and that'll be nice if the Observer can get sniped here. The Raven is going to go for the auto turret there. The auto turret picks down the Observer, but the Ward Prism is now in the main. The tanks are not in position here. This is going to be an aggressive blink forward there. Target fires down the tank. Second tank not ready to go, Grant.
I just don't think there's enough Terran here. SCV's come off the line very late. The Terran is on siege, and I don't hate that, forcing the blink backwards, but reinforcements have arrived. SCV is now in so much trouble, and Combat Shields is at risk here. Blink coming back up. We'll see another blink forward onto the tank. This time, then the final tank goes down. Marauder's targeted down. Great target fire right now from PiLiPiLi. He's up in army supply, but the SCVs are doing a very, very good job, and maybe, just maybe, there's hope yet for the Terran.
Combat Shield's going to go down here. Obviously, he's hoping that's Stim, but it's not quite. Stim still available. And a third tank out, third tank down. Again, we're seeing these very aggressive blink forward. The SCV is getting good surrounds, so you'd be surprised, guys. SCVs do a fair amount of damage if they get surrounded, but yeah, as you said, a couple extra Zealots coming in, and Zealots are the absolute correct counter, ripping through the SCVs, ripping through the Marines, and PiLiPiLi looking like some more aggression in this game. Even Grant, if he gets pushed away completely, he's still on 2 bases behind this. He's still on 41 workers behind this, but I don't think he's going to get pushed away.
GG, PiLiPiLi takes the series. Wow.